everyone, it's James here from goodguitarist.com, and welcome to the final day of the Isolation Challenge Volume 1. Up until this point, we've been working towards playing a walking bassline, folk country sort of thing that, you know, is definitely a few steps beyond the basics. It's not just chords and a strumming pattern. So we've had to break it down and isolate each of those steps. This entire time I've been recording everything and writing all the exercises down on a worksheet that is now turned into like a little booklet on my Patreon page. So please check that out if you need any help working through this whole thing. And don't forget that if you find that you're not ready to take on this final day, you can always review. You know, that's the real secret to success, is you just keep backing up and going through it over and over again. Anyways, we left off with this. So take a look at the previous lesson and make sure that you have that together, because today we're gonna finish it up. First thing I wanna do is take those downstrokes and change them into down up. Just do it one chord at a time. So just start off on the A chord, 3 and 4 and. You know, and just keep doing that over and over again, remembering to finalize on the D chord. That way you're getting used to like going over the bar line and actually getting to the next bit. Anyways, we do it for D. Then A down to E. And E up to A. And once again, if you're having trouble with this, we've broken it down into like a billion steps, so please go through those steps. Anyways, pause the tape, take a moment with those 4 things right there, you know, climbing up to D, back down to A, etc. And once you can do that, we can start gluing this thing together. We're gonna go in chord pairs. So we're just gonna walk back and forth between A and D first, starting off on A, 2 and 3, and 4 and. So take your time with that, and now we'll do it for our next chord pair for A and E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right, so we've worked on them in pairs, and once you can do that, due to the nature of this progression with that A chord in the middle, it's really easy to glue these ones together because there's a lot of overlap. So let's try that, going A into D and then A down into E. 3 and 4 and. Congratulations. That was the thing that we've been trying to play this whole time. Now, at this point, I want you to work on it slowly, counting it out, doing all the things that we've been doing this entire time. My best advice is to go right back to lesson 1 and do this all again. And you'll be able to go through it a lot quicker. But, get the worksheet on the Patreon and just go through it to really make sure that you got it all down. And maybe like mark the exercises that aren't so easy for you and, work on those a bit more, because at this point, even if you're putting the whole thing together, we could always improve little aspects of it. We could always be like, I could be a little more accurate with my plucking the roots and the alternates. I could have my chord shape a little bit better or whatever it is. We've broken it down into each of those steps. We've isolated each little thing. Now this is the point where you have to do some self-assessment, go back through the whole thing and see where you could improve, because by improving on those previous steps, it'll turn this final product it'll be that much better. So once you've done that, the only thing left to do is to start bringing this thing up to tempo. And that's a really straightforward process. A lot of people don't like the idea of using a metronome, but I want you to think about it this way. What if you had access to like an incredible drummer? What if like on command you could call up somebody and be like, oh, hey, Neil Pert, can you come over and play like just a kick drum beat for me so that I can practice along playing with a musician? And what's the difference between that and just having like a device make the click for you? A drummer shouldn't slow down and speed up to keep up with you. Every musician in the band, they're all staying at a steady pace together. And the metronome is what's going to teach you how to do that. So I'm going to get out my metronome. I bought this thing with my first guitar, 18 years ago, and I've only changed the batteries once. I use it all the time and it still works. I have no idea how. I've dropped it a trillion times. It's a Korg MA30. I'm not affiliated with it at all, but whenever I do have a piece of gear that has lasted me that long, I feel like it's worth telling people about. Anyways, we're going to start off with 80 beats per minute. And we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's the same pace we were doing it at before, And your goal is to do it as many times as you need to until you can do it effortlessly. So once you can play it at 80, it's a really straightforward process from here. You just put the thing up to like 81 or 82. Don't go too much. The whole point is that you don't even want to notice that it's going any faster. If you practice it at 80 and then 81, 82, 83, 84. So you do it 5 times today. Tomorrow you pick up from where you left off, you'll get there. Whereas if you just jump straight up to like 90 or 100 or whatever, it might be too much to go. So with that said, just for the sake of this lesson, I'm going to put it up to 90 for the next one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to keep repeating that process, just increasing it barely so that you don't even really notice it's going any faster. At first you can make bigger jumps for sure. Get up to a point where it's like comfortable. Find that point wherever it is for you. But the whole point is eventually you want to get up to say 140. Boom, chicka, doom. That's a pretty comfortable medium tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I know I'm just playing it once at each tempo, but you're going to want to do it several times to get really, really used to it, really get in the pocket. Anyways, once we get up to like 140 or some tempo like that, I actually want to divide it in half. So we go from 140 down to 70, and this is actually going to be the same tempo as before. We're just spacing out our metronome twice as much. So we have less reference points with the metronome, the time is going to be more on us. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where I want you to end up, is using the metronome in half time, playing it around 60 or 70 beats per minute. That would be a really good goal. You'd be able to play through a ton of folk and country tunes if you could get it up to that tempo. But remember, you start off really slow and you just build up like one notch at a time. Once you get really high up, you cut it in half and then you build up once again. So that's how I recommend working on this with a metronome in order to, get it sounding nice and good. Otherwise, I think that's really all there is to be said about this. And we've said quite a lot. We started off with just the chords and strumming, and then from there we added those roots. Then we changed into an alternating bass style. We added the bass line, and along the way we've like broken it down and put it all back together every which way possible. And if you want the guide for going through this whole thing, start to finish, it's available on my Patreon. What started as a simple worksheet is now a booklet. So, use that and remember to kind of just, mark down which steps you could use more help with, which steps you're great with, be proud of yourself too. So if you need any extra help, please let me know. Also, I just want to know how things are going. So please tell me in the comments down below, because depending on how this goes and whether or not this is helping people, I'll do another one of these, and I'm even down for suggestions as to what sort of thing we could work towards. I was thinking of like maybe a finger picking thing, or something like that, So please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Grab that worksheet. If you need any extra help with guitar in general, I have a bunch of stuff, courses, my free ebook, all that stuff is available down below. And I'd really appreciate it if you could check it out, because it helps support the channel. Otherwise, enjoy your practice. Enjoy isolating each of those little steps, putting it all back together. It's a long journey sometimes, but it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there, as long as you get there. And hopefully through this, you can see the process of breaking things down, putting it back together, and how effective that is, and how that can help us accomplish things that we didn't really think we could accomplish before. Anyways, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.